Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Commentary's Magic Stream on today, Sunday, July 11th, 2021. I am, as always, Grand Paws.
Big Cheese?
Arcat and
Ivory Starlight.
And last week's stream was so much fun, we're going to do it again. The same thing.
now
With the same cards.
No, I disagree. Last week was hot takes. They've cooled off somewhat. These are lukewarm takes.
You're giving lukewarm takes. I'm always giving cold takes.
Ouch.
Ivory's just like, this is an entry card. It will go in decks that need to play this color.
You print this on cardboard or printer paper.
That's
Oh,
an
next
entry card.
card.
You should use this card
has
to
a card
get into
number.
color.
It is Prime.
It has a pony on it, probably. Next card.
Unless it doesn't, in which case burn it.
Wow.
Anyway,
It's fun to discuss these cards in brief and just take a look at where some of our attention is drawn since we don't have a true spoiler season with the open beta. But that's okay. It gives us the chance to kind of take it a bit at a time. So do we want to just go right ahead and start here? Or do we want to do any announcements first? How do we want to handle this?
I don't think we've got a whole lot to talk about for what's coming up.
Come to Everfree?
Come to Everfree. Next stream in 2 weeks, I think, is what we're playing.
Oh man, it is.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You're gonna have to decide on a deck list with like how much time?
with cards in it.
Oh man, that's getting awfully close. That's gonna be on the 25th?
Yeah. Okay.
It's 3 weeks away from Everfree. That's enough time for you to completely lose your mind.
I can't even have the new cards in it.
Nope.
It's
Sure.
terrible.
Would that have greatly affected your decision though?
I mean, yes.
I think that's a very yes from all corners here.
Yeah. I actually have even less of an idea of what I would play if we could run the new cards from Fond Memories yet. I don't know. But I'll tell you one card that I'm excited about. Ah, how about that segue, huh?
45 copies of Waifu Basket Weaver.
What card is that?
Yes, do that and then get disqualified round one.
Now, the first card that I'm excited about today is under the playtest name, I'm a Firin' My Laser. Because even we run out of memes.
Shoot the whoop.
Shoot the whoop. There we go. So this is a 2-cost, 3 blue and purple rec, 3 blue and purple power friend, a unicorn specifically, with Swift, and when you discard a card for the first time each turn, gain 1 AT. So Swift on a 2-cost, 3 power body would likely be good enough for this card to be included in blue-purple aggro list just on that alone.
It's overpowered and says Swift on it. I'm sorry, what's not to like about this?
Right. But the discard for AT gain ability really pushes it over the top. I mean, this card is really the epitome of what the blue-purple aggro archetype is all about. It's efficient friends, it's cheap movement, and it's either action token savings or action token generation. And this card hits all of those. It's quite good with the new training keyword, where if one of your friends with training enters play and you have another friend with power higher than that friend with training, you can draw a certain number of cards and then discard that same number of cards. So if you have synergy with cards that care about things being discarded like this, then not only are you getting value filtering through your deck to find the best cards for a situation, but you're also recouping part of the cost of paying them. And if this thing ends up at home, you can move it up again. I just want 3 of these and 3 Daring Do's and like 3 Doctor Who's, and I'm fine. That's it. That's all I need.
Is
Sure
it
you don't
really?
want to rack a Starlights?
I mean, Starlight's nice. I'll run Starlight too. I did see on Meticulous Talk's stream yesterday, Pancake in chat brought up the fact that when you go back into Harmony format and you run Sunset Shimmer Clever Calculator, I think is the name of the card, or is it
Yeah.
just Clever? Is that the one from Absolute Discord?
Yeah, clever.
That
calculator.
one's Clever Girl.
Clever Girl. Okay, so Sunset Shimmer Clever Girl from Absolute Discord. Whenever your opponent plays a card, you can discard a card from your hand that shares a card type with it to gain 1 AT. And then if you also have this, you actually gain another AT, so that seems really powerful.
You could gain up to 4 AT.
You can gain up to like 6 AT.
Oh, is that one not unique either? Wait, no, but that's a... Oh, if you want to discard multiple cards, sure.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
But then that's even more. How many?
I mean, whatever. Discard 3 cards, gain 6 AT. That's fine. So, anyway, very powerful card. I would expect in blue-purple aggro, this would be close to an auto-include. And it being a unicorn means you've got some fun abilities with the new Celestia main to be able to tutor and find it.
There's some interesting synergies that are going to occur because of that.
Other thoughts?
It looks like a dwarf.
It does look like a dwarf.
It's got a beard.
It looks like a Goron from Ocarina of Time.
Go find some art like that in the show. That'll be the final art.
All right, what's the next card?
Fair, but firm. This one does not look like a dwarf. So this is a yellow resource. Cost 2. Play on one of your characters, so including your main. And while it's ready, so not exhausted, everything, including your opponent, at the current location has +1 power. And while it's exhausted, everything has -1 power. And you can immediately exhaust it, but only on your turn. So this is kind of taking the Silverstream lol I'm not confronting strategy and kind of putting up a notch, where I'm going to help to myself confront or challenge Joltmaker or whatever on my turn. But on your turn, not only am I not confronting, but everything else is harder too.
There is a pink-yellow list that is going to run this, and it's going to sit there and just clap its little hooves together because it's going to be so annoying to play against.
Yeah, not confronting. So yeah, in general, what you're going to want to do is do your normal confront, end of your turn, exhaust it, and watch your opponent do even more aggro math.
Well, this does have a couple of interesting other interactions here. Go find... So it turns out that I think this is actually a liability in certain circumstances because there's a little
Handy.
keyword named handy, yeah, which your opponent, if they've got something that's handy, can ready this on their turn, and suddenly you have a problem.
I mean, kind of. I think you had a good use for this in the deck that you refer to as
Fluttershy is a couch potato, but we'll talk about that in some future stream.
Okay. Spoilers, home is a location that characters can be at.
Yep.
Yep. And I think we'll talk a little bit more about that with my card that'll come next, but we'll get to that soon enough.
All right.
Yeah, so this is interesting. It's a nice way to play face-off chicken. Or I'm not confronting. Not confronting yet. Not confronting yet. Not confronting yet.
And
Okay, now I'm confronting.
At Uncommon, you'll probably see this come up in Limited decently often.
It's also easy enough to get out. Very low yellow rec. Not too expensive.
The 2 cost is, it actually is a lot, but
it is a lot, but I think you can turn this around and generate at least 2 power with this pretty trivially.
Yeah. You're also like almost never going to want to play this on a friend. Unless you like absolutely have to.
Yeah.
But
Maybe.
I'm curious as to what situation you'd be in where you would have to.
There's
I-
mains that don't like moving.
I could see value in putting this on something agile.
Swift, agile. Can't be frightened. Can't leave play.
Yeah, that's the more important part. Is it's a liability if it's on a friend, because that just puts a target on that friend. It gets rid of much more value if it gets removed.
Okay, so here's the play. We're going to run this in yellow-orange, and we're going to put this on Rockhoof and abuse the minus shenanigans somehow.
Ooh.
Oh, no, wait. No, that doesn't work. It's immediate, and Rockhoof's a trigger. Darn. Oh, well. That's all right. You can boost your other characters. That's fine.
Maybe.
Alright, next card.
There's probably a way to do something dumb with that.
Hey, Ara. I heard you like puppies.
Yes. So we're going with a, oddly enough, French vanilla card here. It's almost French vanilla, I guess. Is it really? It's got wreck. Whatever. Anyway, so this has eager on it, and I want to bring this up just because eager is dumb. So this says at the start of your turn, once per turn, if you have a friend with eager at home, you may draw a card. I'm sorry, did I just hear free card advantage? I think I did.
Yeah?
So what you're telling me is that I could have this thing sitting next to Nurturing Nature at home with a Fair But Firm on it, and get a free card every turn, and project power more efficiently with Fluttershy? Cool.
I mean, it's a thing you can do.
Yeah, but because of the low rec on it, this is a lovely friend to play to
Turn
get
one.
a confront to flip main turned over. You don't generally want to play this at home to start with. It'll go home fast enough with the DFO. Or an SFO, whatever. But it's a friend that you really don't mind playing, even though it doesn't do a whole lot, because it's going to start producing value. Just chilling at home.
Yeah, what's kind of interesting about this is that eager is one of those keywords that is going to provide incremental value over time, and if your opponent doesn't recognize the amount of value that free card draw will give after 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 turns,
Spoilers, it's a lot.
there's a good chance they'll just let this live.
That's going to be a mistake.
Or any of your other friends with eager. They won't try to disrupt them unless there's some other powerful effect, and a lot of the eager friends are kind of designed to be low-key.
Imagine if eager stacked.
Which
Well,
it used
Imagine
to,
what
and
that
then
would do.
It was highly broken is what it was.
It was
Which
not
is why
good.
we had to
It
fix
didn't.
it.
It didn't last long.
Yeah.
No, it was great. Put it back. I liked it that way.
You can put it back in your own version over there.
The other thing that's nice about eager is if your opponent is aware of the value of this, and eager is on relatively, innocuous friends, you can run your deck that have some nice tribal support or just decent aggro plays, and load up 2 or 3 eager friends. Your opponent's not going to be able to get rid of all of them, and you only need 1 to get the card. So
Yeah.
as long as the eager bodies are efficient or desirable for some other reason, yeah, you're probably getting some card advantage in yellow.
Yeah, like being a good card to play to get your confront to flip main flipped. Sounds good to me.
Yep.
And I'm 100% fine with my opponent burning their removal on things that aren't my more valuable friends, like Yona's.
Let's give Yona eager.
I
don't
mean, that's
think-
fine.
The
I
one,
don't think she's good enough.
It would
the
never.
one that never wants to be at home.
It would never be at home. So what's the point?
It would be
No.
at home. It would be at home after you DFO.
Yeah.
Seems fine. No, we're going to put that, yes, we're going to retroactively put that on Kool-Aid Yak. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to work out well.
Only if she loses persistent? Nah, needs persistent and eager. Seems fine.
Why
Double
does that
persistent.
card have persistent?
No, we're going to up it one further, and we're going to give it the permanent trait from the villain challenges.
Oh no. Next
I,
card.
I completely forgot that was a thing.
There's a song about this.
There is, and it's an amazing song. But we're not talking about the song. We're talking about the resource. The resource Rainbow Factory costs 2 blue, 2 orange, wreck, 5 power. Play to your home. Your friends have Diligent 1. Immediate. Exhaust this card and remove 2 +1 power counters from one of your friends. Add a problem to frighten an opposing friend at that problem. So, this card gets really dumb if you have made your deck have a lot of exhaust effects and you also happen to be running a good old friend from New Dawn called Donut Joe.
Yep.
I think it's Donut Joe that adds power counters every time a friend exhausts.
I think so, yeah.
Or am I crazy? Well, either way,
No,
whatever
that's-
that friend is.
That's the right one.
Yeah. So you start stacking a bunch of power counters on your friends through various elves exhausting abilities and throw this down, and now you have a scary you put your opponent in a scary situation where, oh crap, how am I gonna confront around the fact that I know one of my friends is about to be exhausted? Or 2 or 3, depending on how many your opponent has of these in play, because it is not unique.
Yeah.
And just having Diligent 1 on all of your friends, like it just gets so dumb so fast.
Have 3 of these out. All of your friends are now Granny Smith from Marks and Time.
Why?
All of your friends are Granny Smith, and they can just frighten things forever.
There's been some discussion in Discord recently of the orange quest card, which is a handy friend that when you've exhausted a card, as a main phase action, you may pay 1 AT to put this card from your hand into play. That is very good with Rainbow Factory. Get some friends that have the exhaust power counter thing going on there. Get some rock hoofs or whatever else it happens to be. Exhaust a Rainbow Factory, frighten an opposing friend at a problem. Then drop Orange Quest into play, ready Rainbow Factory, exhaust it, remove another 2 power. It is dumb.
We have added a new level to aggro math. Spending counters to put more counters on other things to do other things with counters.
Blue-orange has a bit of aggro math. It may have gone too far. We'll see.
Nah, it's fine.
Fun.
All right. So here's kind of an oddball one for my second choice for this stream. That is Scrapped Design. This card does one key thing very, very well, and that is to fill a niche role as a cheap, fast discard pile disrupting card. Being able to save 1 AT to bring this card back every time it hits the discard pile not only lets you play this multiple times over the course of the game to remove the single highest value card from your opponent's discard pile, but also helps you protect against hand disruption or mill if your opponent is running a discard-focused deck. Most of those decks happen to have orange in them. Orange has a tendency to like to disrupt your hand, especially with some new cards in this set.
Yeah, and interestingly, this works even if you discard it as a cost, because it's a trigger, not a replacement.
Yup. So as Prism Light says, yep, you can say goodbye to the golden parachutes that are in the discard pile. You can say goodbye to the high-value reanimate friend that's there. You can get rid of your own Grogar troublemaker that you beat up to bring it back from Banish, which is hilarious.
That annoying card with the Griffin dude on it, Gallus on it.
Which card? Oh, the stop fighting.
Yeah, stop fighting.
Yep, stop fighting works. Get your experienced cards down. Get your orange-white firelight friends out of the way so your opponent can't mess with that.
And you don't even need a flip main if your main is white.
Sure don't. Cost 0, 1 rec, flips for 5, and is immediate speed.
Seems good.
Seems good.
Well, except for the fact where you have to have white rack. That's actually kind of annoying.
It is annoying. Nobody plays white.
We're gonna see about that.
Yeah, those white mains, there's no good ones, and especially none that have a bug on them.
I mean, I'm mostly annoyed because I don't really like the style of play that you have to want to do to run Arqueen.
What, the style of play where you're just annoying?
Wink.
It's the wrong style of annoying,
It's a perfectly fine style of annoying.
but it's not my style.
It's her style.
The queen will not sit at home on the couch. I'm sorry. The queen must put in effort.
Talking to her starlight stick.
Correct.
It's a Twilight stick, actually, but
Is it?
Starlight Stick. The
All right,
Twilight
James.
Stick got turned into a rotting pile of who knows what.
Yeah. What you got for us?
Dilemma Shift, which has absolutely nothing to do with Sun Princess.
Watch as I turn this into a Celestial.
I mean, should be. Calming too. That part's irrelevant.
Calming.
The-
Hey! Hold on now.
It's
Calming.
completely
Calming
irrelevant.
too.
it's
is-
irrelevant. No. It's irrelevant because he will never remember it's on there when he plays it.
Oh, right,
No
it's
one will
Q's playing
remember
it.
it's present.
No, you will never
Ever.
remember that it's present.
I remember it's present just fine. Calming's annoying.
The much more relevant part of this card is your characters at dilemmas have +1 power, so that's cool. But even cooler is when a dilemma enters play, you may move one of your characters to that problem. This is very similar in wording to Day Shift, just not as crazy.
Except we had to make it better in a different way. Also, it's an ultra rare.
Yeah,
Well, blue yellow never got its ultra rare, so
so
That is in fact true.
this is such a huge power swing, especially with whatever her name is, Fluttershy.
stunning wonder.
Maybe. So like you play your dilemma for free, draw a card, and then get to move something up. And like it's not that hard for that one move up to confront the dilemma by itself. So that's like 0 AT confront a dilemma. Seems pretty good in some decks. Now it is 3 AT to play, and it doesn't really do anything until you got a dilemma out. But
Just completely ignoring that first line of text. It's so
yes,
disrespectful.
because it's irrelevant.
It is not irrelevant.
Now, so the problem, calming has one fundamental problem, which is
It
that
only
it
affects play.
Yes. And
it sits there and says, you are going to have a hard time as an aggro deck dealing with this card at a problem unless you can go somewhere else.
Or you can just move, like so many aggro decks do. They just move. They're like, lol, what is this calming? I'll play
Sometimes.
plushie dash to the other problem and move some stuff up to that problem.
you burned a plushie dash on it instead of playing plushie dash to that problem.
They were going to play
Yeah.
plushie dash anyway.
Yeah, it makes your aggro math more annoying. And at some point, I'm going to be like, look, it's an aggro game. Let's go. You know, you're holding things up. So you got to get real good at doing that math. And then the problem with calming, though, is that this means that if they play something, you're kind of setting yourself up for a DFO next turn. Like, it may stop the confront this turn, but you better be prepared for the crack forward? Question mark?
That might be okay. It's at least a 3 for 3. Like, it's Spitfire stats, which is fine.
Like, after it ends up at home after a DFO, I'm like rarely going to move it up. But
It's still a 3-power body. That
it
is kind of significant.
That's why.
It is a 4-power body if you move it up to a dilemma.
Yeah.
And it's
true.
And it can move up for free.
Yeah.
Also, remember, there are 2 key differences on this card compared to Day Shift. The first one, 2 key things about that last ability. The first one is, like Day Shift, this will trigger on any dilemma entering play, not just your own.
Yep.
Number 2, you do not have to move your character from home to that problem.
Yep. If only it was hasty.
When do we get hasty dilemmas?
Would a dilemma have hasty?
You can have a hasty dilemma. That's perfectly fine.
We gave a dilemma meticulous.
I know, but I don't know. I assumed that hasty was like a friend thing, but I guess there's nothing in the rules that say it can't be on something else.
I mean, we have a hasty resource already.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it just says hasty is just this card can be played whenevs.
I mean, you can technically have a hasty dilemma. It just requires friendship expressing in a whatever that Silverstream card was.
I'm sure there's some card that lets you play a resource.
Yes. You can just hasty an Octavia and set a dilemma on top of your deck. So now we're only in 4 colors.
Yeah,
What?
only 4. Like, what? Aggro decks in 4 colors.
Whatever. That's less colors than combo. I'm sure aggro will be perfectly fine doing dumb stuff for weird combo things.
Totally.
Sounds cute. Someone do it.
Have fun with that.
Such disrespect towards calling.
Let's talk about this card.
I mean, I still think that's really good. All right, Manic Mood. It says immediate, so you know it's already good. And it's got 4 pink Rex, so that just means it's going to be even better. Immediate, uncover a face-down troublemaker, then draw cards equal to that troublemaker's point value. Okay, so let's look at this for a moment. I like card advantage. I like immediate things, and I especially like things that are annoying with flipping over troublemakers, just being like, hello, hi, yes, I hope you weren't planning on confronting this turn. Also, it works even better because if you've got a Vicious Vengeance, our queen flips over during their score phase and is like, hello, yes, hi, go home.
Going back to Pink's roots with
Yes.
Bell Tower,
Yeah, a little bit of that going on there.
except better.
And yeah, so
not
you
repeatable.
you can do this to defend a non-epic troublemaker, even if you've got an epic there to flip up. Or for that matter, you could even do it during the challenge against a non-epic and flip something else up to make it go away. Yeah, sure, they still win the face-off, but there's no points for it. Seems kind of annoying. Which means it's right up my alley.
It's also worth pointing out that this uses slightly different language than what we've seen in the past from most cards that mess with troublemakers. This specifically says uncover.
Yes, and that is important because if you have a face-up epic where the troublemaker you want to use this on is, it doesn't work.
Right. It's also relevant because it means if you have a villain that is face down, it will work.
It triggers.
So you've got your choice of like how to be annoying here even. If you've got a villain, you can scare all their stuff and your stuff, so be careful with that. And this kind of the same thing with Vicious Vengeance. Just moves everything home.
Will this let Pink farm?
I was about to say, are we gonna start seeing Pink farm lists?
Maybe?
I see this more as control over farm, but
Well, you could go back to like original Mosh Pit roots and just park Pinky behind a troublemaker and just be like, hello. Oh, you're gonna try to challenge it. Well, it's a darn shame.
like it only seems relevant in farm, like as a defensive measure, Like, it's never gonna help you confront like a challenge or troublemaker.
I don't think so.
Unless you have like hasty, unless you're doing some weird hasty, but like you're spending a lot of AT and resources when you could just wait a turn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah,
That's
this
fair.
does have a downside, which means you have to have a face down troublemaker ready to flip up. And because this doesn't work with epics, you have to be planning on uncovering the troublemaker anyway. So I think there's a pretty high skill cap on this, and I think this is actually going to be a fairly hard card to use at its full power. I can think of some really convoluted situations you could get into, and very few of which are likely to ever come up.
This could technically let Pink activate Winterzilla the turn they play it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually kind of interesting.
It's
Very
expensive.
expensive.
Yeah.
Very expensive, but if you need to make something go away,
3 AT and 2 cards.
might be worth.
Yeah, one of them cycles. Winterzilla has a point bonus of 1. Or a point value of 1.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think this is a good indicator of why the original Nightmare Moon Troublemaker is banned, however.
Oh yes, this would have been amazing with Nightmare Moon.
I will play this face-down Troublemaker. Your turn. Okay, have you drawn for turn? Cool.
Nightmare Moon!
End of your ready phase. Rip.
Rip.
And
I
then
now have 6
you-
cards in hand.
Don't you have to draw 3 cards? When you draw 3 cards and then discard those and draw 3 more cards?
Oh yeah, I'm sure the pile list would have
Oh,
enjoyed this
yeah.
too.
Let's not talk about that.
That's why we can't have nice things. Nightmare Moon was no. She will be missed. Kind of.
I mean, she's not there. That's about as far as I'll go. Ivory, what you got?
Oh, just more aggro things. The way I like it. It is not your card. So Getting Over It is a 1 cost, 2 blue and 2 yellow rec, 1 power friend. It is not a Pegasus, for obvious reasons. Those reasons being agile, and when you confront this card's problem, choose a problem. Your characters at that problem have +1 power till the end of the turn. So you could, in theory, be not confronting one problem, confront the problem you're at, give everything +1 power over there, and then even agile this card over to that problem if you need to. DFO with a lot less than you would normally need.
Are you implying Pegasi don't need more Anthem effects?
I mean, I'll always take some Anthem effects for Pegasi, but I don't think you or Ara will let me have those things.
Pegasus,
Well-
I need more everything.
After kicking the pair of them out, it's probably a good idea to not just shove another one right back in.
And the important thing to note is if you do decide to move this to the other problem, you're like, okay, I choose the other problem to have power. I move this over, confront this problem. Now the problem that I was just at before, they have +1 power as well. Now let's have a face-off with lots of extra power.
Yep. If you happen to have multiple of these cards in play, or you agile back and forth, you can also just affect the same problem multiple times. So, if you confront the first problem, if you confront problem A, and most of your characters are at problem B, you're like, okay, cool, I choose problem B, and I agile this over here. And then you confront problem B, and you're like, cool, I choose problem B. And then you confront problem C, and you're like, cool, I choose problem B.
It's kind of expensive.
And then your opponent plays
It's
Wrath of Gilda
extremely expensive.
because your board got too wide.
Right. But at the same time, this also hits tokens, and that gets dumb.
Crash Cloud.
Industrial Revolution in
Yeah.
Adventure.
Yeah, other reasons why this can't be a Pegasus.
Yes, Diamond Song, you did hear Wrath of Gilda. You cannot look at this card and expect it not to go in a deck that would not be vulnerable to Wrath of Gilda.
I mean, literally any aggro deck is vulnerable to that card.
Speaking of cards that aren't this card.
Next card is Wrath of Gilda. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. Weakest link.
Goodbye.
So this one does require some reading. And while you're reading the card, don't forget that this thing is unique. That's important. But wow, this resource can be very disruptive and especially nasty when you combine it with other friend removal options in pink. You can get the cheap stuff off the board and then force your opponent to retire their high value kind of mid-range friends. Or if the board's empty enough, you just don't have to have this exhausted, or don't have to have this ready. You can exhaust it and then no one retires.
Or you can be annoying and figure out a way to have it only ready on your opponent's turn.
That is complicated.
I think it's doable.
It's
Doable, but very, very
I don't know if it's
difficult.
doable repeatedly, but
Also, I'll just say it. Bodyguards.
yeah.
Do I have to say anything else?
I mean,
Bodyguard's just designed to be an annoying card, isn't he?
It
I mean
took
that's
way
great. It's like, sure, I get rid of a token.
Oh no. I got rid of a token, and you have no token friends. What's the cheapest friend you have? That 3-cost thing with calming.
You should get rid of that, and I'll get another token.
Another 2 tokens because I have 2 bodyguards.
And pink is traditionally a color that relies on its events and its friends for removal. So going up against a pink list, your opponent might be surprised to see you playing some additional resources. And they might not have as much resource removal as they normally would. We'll see.
I want to know how this is going to be flavored.
I would also like to know how this is going to be flavored.
I don't know. I would also like to know how this is going to be flavored.
Quick, someone come up with an idea.
I'll flavor it.
No.
No. Just immediate rejection.
It's because he knows that the second he hands the tools to me, he's gonna see a lot of things he doesn't want.
Speaking about flavor,
No more Nyx mains. Stop it.
It's okay,
But-
we don't need a Nyx main.
'Cause-
We have a Nyx friend.
because our next card is Nyx.
No, we still need a Nyx main.
We really do.
No, we don't.
You don't.
Hey, look, it's Nyx.
Except it's not Nyx, because I actually did the flavoring for this one.
Nix.
No, it could technically still be Nyx. Just
Can't has.
Photoshop the moon out.
Let's get
of
some
the
glasses
cutie
on
mark.
there.
Can't has.
Anyway. Nightmare Moon. She's great. Your opponent's maximum hand size is reduced by half. And your maximum hand size is doubled. So either up to 16 or potentially 20.
Depending on what else has happened in the game.
Yes, if you've done the stupid, whatever it's called. But like if you have a
Miracle
hand limit,
miscount.
when your hand limit's 18, or sorry, 16, it pretty much doesn't even matter anymore.
Do you
Unless you're
really have
doing-
a hand limit? Yeah.
Like ridiculous combo shenanigans. Now,
Yes, because if you have no hand limit, then that Lyra main likes to do some things.
It's
Yeah.
just going to be really sad when your opponent takes control of your Nightmare Moon and then plays a Thanos. And you're
yes.
like, Oh no!
That is just highly rude.
Yeah. So the first ability here, I think, is actually a lot more relevant. In that, like, reducing your opponent's hand size. I think there's some other cards that can reduce it by like 1 or 2. Even reducing it by 1 is huge because it's rounded down. So that's like down to 3 if you can reduce their hand limit to 7.
Yep.
The second ability, sometimes it matters in the right deck. I like Lyra kind of cares. As long as you can keep it out long enough to actually not have to discard those cards all of a sudden, unless you just really want to discard cards. I think that would actually be an interesting use case for this card. But like 6 power, pretty good. 2 bonus. Potentially you'd see this in a farm deck. Generally, farm likes to kill things the turn they flip. So
You'll see this in a farm deck simply because it's an epic and it's only 6 power and 2 points.
An epic
Yeah.
with 2 bonus, 6 power, and no like villain or anything else fun that's going to make it indesirable.
yeah.
Yeah, you might see this replace like Vicious Vengeance in farm decks.
Oh yeah, like that's not even a question.
And like it's not a terrible, well, it's not a terrible like turn 1 play it. And like get in pass, make sure your opponent has a turn to actually get affected by it.
So Fanman in chat asks, what if your opponent is decreasing your hand size? Can this save you? Yes. So if your opponent is decreasing your hand size, let's say you each have a Nightmare Moon Night Vision in play. Your hand sizes are still both 8.
They just kind of cancel each other out.
Right.
And you're left glaring at each other going, I'm the real Nightmare Moon.
It's the Spider-Man meme.
And if your opponent has some kind of ability in play where your hand size is reduced by, let's say, 1, then Nightmare Moon Night Vision coming into play, your new hand limit would be 14. Because I believe those modifiers are done in timestamp order.
They are done in dependency order, so additive before multiplicative.
It gets weird.
Reverse operations is the way to think about it. Ooh, also stream is doing weird things.
Your mic is doing weird things.
No, it may have just been me then.
Either way, weird ruling. Yes, this can help you if your opponent is decreasing your hand size, is the short answer.
It also looks very pretty. And I mean, come on. We can't just kick Nightmare Moon out forever.
Can I have a royal rare? As long as the royal rare is Nyx.
I'll
No.
make a royal rare.
An MS Paint Royal Rare of this card.
No, I'll just steal Aura's laptop and make
Ultra
it when he's not
rare.
looking.
This is why I don't have the software to do card layout installed on my laptop.
Alright, I'll break into your house
You-
and steal your
you
whole
should-
dang tower.
You should try to install it on your crapbook.
No.
What,
It's
the
not
one
gonna
with
work.
like 2 gigs of RAM?
Yes, the one that barely functions.
That would require Adobe's stuff to work on Linux, which no.
How to crash a laptop in exactly 20 seconds?
Can barely run a single tab. Anyway, next card.
Yeah, enough talking crap about Aura's computer.
One of his many.
I have too many machines. That one in particular needs to go away, because that's also the machine that builds Ponyhead. Ah, this one's sideways. Boo.
I did not
Okay.
rotate it.
Okay, so this one says not orange plus wild. When an opponent discards a card for the first time each turn, they discard another random card. There we go. 2 bonus, 4 not orange plus 2 wild. And 7 for your opponent. Now, I'd like to point something out here. It doesn't care why your opponent discards a card. End of turn? Cool. Discard another card. Also, that says random, so Poppy's over here just being like, just clapping her little flippers together in glee. Because she really wants to turn herself sideways. And this looks like a great way to do it. Now, this is somewhat disappointing because most of the good cards for making your opponent discard things are orange in some fraction. But if you're going to go back into Harmony, yellow Parasprite, 13 sets later, still wins games.
Destroyer of worlds.
The Destroyer of Hands. Rainbow
Destroyer of-
Shine is the Destroyer
Remember
of
that
Worlds.
time where we had games where it was just like one Nightmare Moon, one yellow Parasprite, turn
No,
after turn.
No, forget that. You remember that time that the Tempest main used to put 2 Troublemakers into play?
We don't talk about that time.
That was great.
That was amazing.
That might go up onto top 10 design choices that died before they got out of Wave 1.
Yep. That thing
Yeah.
died in 10 minutes.
I don't think it took that long. I don't think it took that long.
It took that long to get a response.
Okay, fair enough.
It's worth noting that if you are going heavy into hand disruption, you might not necessarily care if you're confronting your own problem. The color requirements here might not be the most relevant thing until you have completely destroyed your opponent's hand.
Right. The main concern I think I have with this is, yeah, that's actually a 2 bonus problem.
Yeah.
It's a 7 for your opponent. I mean, we saw cards like Recipe Research being run, even in control decks. It's not out of the question for something like that to happen.
Right. I mean, you can still run this in an orange deck. It just means that you need to probably not have the orange be the primary color.
Or have enough multicolor cards that you can do it anyway.
Right. Remember that orange multicolor still counts as orange, though.
Orange multicolor still counts as orange, but also counts as whatever its other color is. If you have orange-purple friends here, you can have them contribute their purple.
The
I
real
think we actually
idea
have a
is
ruling contrary to that somewhere, but we'll have to revisit that.
I believe you are mistaken, but we will take a look.
Anyway. Or you can just run a mono pink deck with this and just be like, I don't care.
Yeah. That's what's interesting about these. It's like, if you're just running colors that don't care about the knot, then you don't care. So we got one more card.
we do have one more card. And it's time for another control. What? There we go. Trouble TM tax. 2 costs, 2 purple, 2 white, unique friend. With training 2. When training 2, meaning when this card enters play, if you have a character with higher power than this card, you may draw X cards, then discard X cards. And opponents must pay 1 AT to play events for each of your face-up troublemakers. What do purple-white troublemaker decks like to do? They like to lock you out of both problems with troublemakers. How would you like to pay an extra 2 for all of your events?
Sounds terrible.
Also, what is this? Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards? I mean, all you need is a boosted main, and you have a character with a higher power than this card. That seems pretty good. Yeah, I expect this to go into purple-white control decks, at least with 2 copies.
We're
Just
starting. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, just because you know you're gonna play troublemakers, taxing your opponent's always nice when you're trying to stop them from doing things, and the training 2 is definitely gonna help out to get to the stuff you want.
If this said to play cards, I would like play 3 of the meticulous dilemmas. Get a like 5 troublemakers out. Like, ha! Play +5 to play anything.
Yeah, we are starting to see a trend of the powerful tax cards being unique.
Yeah.
And that is frustrating somewhat for trying to stack multiple tax effects, but it also means that we can print different tax effects that function slightly differently in a greater volume without worrying about completely overloading one particular situation. Like, Mimics was a first attempt at design on one of these, really expensive general pay more effects, and it was way overtuned. This will affect a single card type and has another conditional requirement there as well. But is also, kind of cheap and it gives you some nice color rec, so it's not bad.
Yeah,
No,
you can still build a deck that uses a lot of mean tax effects. You just have to work harder for it.
I don't know. I kind of want to put Cozy on this card.
Seems good.
Little psychopath.
Golly. Is that the subtitle? Just golly, mister?
She's just your go-to, like, this is a mean card that has purple on it, therefore it's going to be cozy.
I would like to share an anecdote here with the chat for a moment that if you ever had any doubts as for whether or not Arcat's soul is pure, just know that Cozy Glow's golly is one of his ringtones and constantly goes off in the middle of the night.
True story.
Nothing confuses me more than hearing golly at like 4:30 a.m.
It's really kind of horrifying.
What was that? We were talking about something,
Oh,
and it just
Cozy
like
chimed in with
it chimes in with a perfect.
I don't even remember. I remember it happening, but I don't remember what the conversation was.
it was great. Cozy
always-
Glows.
She helps out.
She tries. Oh boy.
But yeah, no, I like my little psychopathic foal who just wants to like suck the magic out of the universe. It's fine.
She knows that friendship is magic. She just wants all the magic.
Or wants no one to have it. What can she say? She goes big.
She has corrupted friendship.
I like every one of the cards that we've been able to talk about so far in these streams. These are fun.
So after we get to 158, is that where we're at?
We're at 160 now.
Oh,
No, we're not.
so we go through
Yep.
160 cards, and you'll be like, I liked every card we talked about.
It's 160 cards.
If it's 160 cards, I think we need to start prepping for Slogfest already.
It's
Can
160
we get through
cards.
Continentals first?
No.
Okay.
I said
Maybe.
prepping, not actually doing Slogfest.
No, we'll do Slogfest at Continentals.
Disgusting.
Oh my god, it is 160.
Thought I was kidding, didn't you? This is
That's-
why I'm like, you're not allowed to have any more cards because the break for the
It's
printer is
it's
162.
Not 160. It's not really 160. We've got the Starlight main on there. Like, that's fine.
That still takes a card slot.
I guess.
So 160 plus the 2 scorecards.
I hope you're all happy at those 2 dilemmas that are here in this set, because it was the last 2 that got added, and it bumped us up that high, so...
Wrong. It's the pink ultra rare.
Oh, right, I forgot about that one. I'm happy with that one. I almost chose that one today. Maybe next time.
You have to build
Anyway.
a deck around it.
Yeah.
All right. So next, 2 weeks from now, we're talking about what we're running at Continentals.
Correct.
Oh, and we should also talk about what the prize support is, because there's a thing here, and some other things in a box.
Do you get a banana?
Nope, you get Cheese's Tesla if you win.
What?
No,
I'm down.
no.
Alright, fine. You can have, I don't know. What do you have that's high value? I guess you... Ara's the deed to Ara's property.
Machine. No. Ara's machine.
No, that thing generates so much heat you just melt if you get too close to it.
Accurate. No, so we've
500
got some.
plushes.
We've got
Yes,
we got
and
some fun
plushes.
things. Now that's gonna get you bitten. No, so we got some stuff. This ought to be fun, but just have to save those for 2 weeks from now.
Okay, go on. It'll be exciting. I can't wait till we can talk about that. Anyway, that will about wrap up our discussion on this topic for today. We would like to give a big shout out to all of our patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much for your regular support. If you aren't currently a patron and you enjoy what we do, please consider donating. Doing so does enable us to continue making content like this and lets you earn some great perks as a bonus. If you have comments or questions you'd like to send our way, please feel free to reach out to us through Facebook, Twitter, or email. If you're a patron, you can also chat live with us on Slack any day, anytime. Because World of Warcraft destroys sleep schedules.
Meanwhile, I'm over here trying to fix my sleep schedule. It's not working, by the way. 4 a.m. Sounds good.
Finally, if you're looking to watch any of our previous videos, including tournament recordings, you can find them on our YouTube channel, linked just below the stream. But with all that said, thank you to each and every one of our viewers, both here now and watching this recording later. We are, as always, Commentary is Magic. I am, as always, Grandpaws.
Big cheese.
Aracat and
And Ivory
I
Starlight.
heard that.
No.
Heard that. Not doing that again. That was from 2 weeks ago.
Got the 3. Can't go any
It did.
higher.
It did get to 3. Also, Final Fantasy's more addicting than World of Warcraft these days.
If you say so. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
bye.